Hello, everyone. My name is Hanafi, the CEO of NovaResp, the company that is revolutionizing the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea through comfort innovation. How many of you in the audience or your family members have been told to use a CPAP machine? How many of you in the beginning loved the idea of having to use a CPAP machine? That's what I thought. My father has severe sleep apnea and he does not use his machine. Obstructive sleep apnea is the blockage of airway for periods of 10 seconds up to 2 minutes. This could happen hundreds of times a night. Comorbidities associated with it are type 2 diabetes, higher chances of heart attack, higher chances of stroke, 15 times higher chances of car accidents. It is estimated that 1 billion people globally are affected by this disease, 80% of which are undiagnosed, and half of those that are diagnosed and prescribed end up not using the machine, just like my father. There is competition to CPAP therapy. There is oral appliances, and there is pills. They're not effective on severe sleep apnea. Neurostimulators are minimally invasive and very expensive. CPAPs are the only solution that do work, except that no one likes using them. There has been no innovation in this market for patients' comfort in the last decades. Now let's see why. Number one, there is a lot of pressure applied to your face in order to keep your airway open. Then there is the mask and the tube that you could roll over on, and you're tethered to your bedside. You can't walk around. Now, patients end up not using these machines, which is gonna affect their health, leading to strokes and heart attacks, but this is also an opportunity cost for DMEs and manufacturers. When patients are prescribed with CPAP machines, they're sent home with the CPAP machine for the first 3 months of use. If they prove that they use the machine for a certain percentage of those nights, then there's reimbursement that covers the cost of the machine and covers the cost of the consumables on a quarterly basis. So this is quite a bit of cost that is caused for DMEs and manufacturers and revenue that they're not generating. By improving patient comfort, this will improve. More patients will stick with the machine, short-term and long-term. That has made patient adherence the driver of this market. Improvement in patient adherence is equivalent to traction in this market. Now, current CPAP machines are reactive. Apneas still happen throughout the night. But what the machines do is that they either increase the pressure halfway through the apnea to try to open up the airway, which wakes up the patient, or wait for the patient to wake up on their own and breathe normally. What our patented AI-enabled software, CMAP, does is that it predicts apneas before they would happen and applies a gentle amount of pressure to keep the airway open. We have formed this software through collecting tens of thousands of apneas from patients, and we are now ready to install it on any CPAP machine that is currently in the market with the normal form factor, turning them from reactive machines into intelligent machines. Now, let's connect this to patient comfort and adherence. I'm sure you've all tried to blow up a party balloon. Airway is like a balloon. In the very beginning, if you want to blow up a deflated balloon, you need to apply so much pressure, and then it gets easier, right? So airway is the same. If you know it's going to collapse and it's halfway blown up, you need gentle amounts of air pressure to keep it open rather than a lot of pressure. That way, our software drops the pressure of therapy and improves comfort for patients on normal CPAP machines. But if you can imagine, if you can lower the pressure of therapy dramatically, now the size of the machine can shrink, the power consumption has reduced, so you can build battery-enabled wearable machines. Therefore, our product vision is firstly an incremental step where we install our software on partners' CPAP machines and generate licensing revenue through that to turn their machines from reactive to intelligent machines. And also our completely wearable, fully integrated machine that will completely disrupt this market. As mentioned before, we formed the predictive algorithm through collecting tens of thousands of apneas from patients, and then we installed this on a commercially available machine and tested it on patients. And we showed that we can turn normal form factor machines into intelligent machines. Now we're going into clinical trials in Q4 of this year. Now, this is also a regulatory strategy because if the first AI software is approved through a 510K path that we've had the pre-sub with the FDA, it's going to be a 510K path. If it's approved, the first AI software, then that becomes a predicate for our Gen 2 device. So we'll do the trials at the end of this year. We'll be ready to submit our Health Canada and FDA submissions, at which point we are raising our Series A. And in the meantime, we're designing and preparing for commercialization of the fully integrated machine in 2026. All of our 4 patents are now allowed or issued in the US, and we're planning to file more patents this year. Our leadership is myself. I have a PhD in biomedical engineering. I'm specialized in respiratory mechanics and commercialization of medical devices. Messrs. Liederman and Power bring tens of years of experience in quite successful startups. Mr. Miller was the VP of sales at ResMed for over 10 years, and Dr. Smith is the founder of one of the largest North American, privately owned North American sleep clinics. Our clinical advisory board is even more exciting. Dr. Mehran Patel write the clinical guidelines of sleep apnea therapy for North American doctors through American Thoracic Society. And Dr. Fietze and Penzel write those for European doctors through European Respiratory Society. We have multiple recurring revenue imagined with our partner licensing, devices, consumables, and software as a service, which will bring us to a positive cash flow from year 2 of product launch. We just closed our Seed Plus round in December. We're starting our activities to raise a $15 million round in order to tackle and bring this dramatic, revolutionary, and disruptive technology of a wearable CPAP to market. We address patient adherence, which is the acknowledged growth impediment in this large and undeniably growing market. We have demonstrated in pilot trials that we can predict and prevent apneas, and we have protected our IP. Thank you very much, and happy to answer your questions.